Because believe it or not, like it or not, agree or not, God is doing something. And that which God is doing, if you are not careful, what God is doing will bypass you. God is doing something, and what God is doing will bypass you. You will not know. And when what God is doing is bypassing you, you'll be wondering, how did this happen? And you are not aware. So everybody needs to be spiritually informed. I was telling you last time, I said the major prophet of God has become what's called a spiritual intel. Prophetic revelations from my mouth and by the grace of God has become what's called spiritual intels. And any man or woman that has that ability is not to be taken for granted. You need to listen. When you are listening, you will see the finger of God, the handwriting on the wall. The handwriting on the wall. So it has become what's called spiritual intel. What do we want to do in life? What we want in the world? Whatever we want and what we want to do, we must do everything possible to be able to follow it up the way it is in the realm of the spirit and begin to now see it in the physical realm and begin to now do what we need to do, because we must do something. Everybody must do something, because we are all stakeholders in the things of this earth. When it comes to the earth and what will happen on the face of the earth, we are a part of it, because we are co-laborers. The Bible says we are his workmanship. We are his workmanship, co-laborers. As co-laborers, we are all doing everything possible to now work together in the revelations and the things that God is showing to us, to be on the best side with the Lord. That's what we need to know. We need to know this. We have to be on the side of the Lord. And when we are on the side of the Lord, then God will be glorified. The greatest and the most powerful thing a man should do is for a man to hear what God says and they repeat it the way God has said it and pass the message across. When you pass the message across and it reaches out to people, reaches out to anybody, anywhere, then God is pleased. But when God speaks, you trash it, you commonize it, take it for granted, and later on you see that what God said has come to pass. As God is giving me grace, as God is giving me grace, because when I begin to give these prophecies, somebody who doesn't know will think, oh, major prophet of God, are you enemy of this, or you are enemy of that, or you are friend of this, or you are friend of that? Major prophet of God is standing as a prophet on the face of the earth. And I will never, ever, ever, ever begin to say things that the Spirit has not revealed to me. I will say things that the Spirit has revealed to me to pass the message across. And so because of this and what the Lord is doing, the Lord is also telling the major prophet of God to proceed on the things that will surely unfold. Things that will surely unfold. Things that will surely unfold. It shall come to pass. Wherever you are, share this broadcast, because this revelation is very important. It's very important. It's very important. It shall come to pass. I am seeing in the realm of the spirit what shall come to pass. Because the Lord has taken the major prophet of God to move straight away, and I see myself right there in a place called the southern eastern part of this country, Nigeria. Southern eastern part, southeast. Thus I see myself right here in the southeast, and the Lord began to show me what's called people traveling for what's called December celebrations. This is what is going to happen in this very Christmas, and people traveling for Christmas celebrations. And I begin to look at the spiritual world, and the Lord said, people are going to travel for Christmas, this very celebration season. But when I look at the people, and the Lord took me straight away, and I see myself multiplied into what's called double places. I see myself right in the place called airport, and I'm standing on what's called International Airport of Nigeria, and I see myself right in the place called MM1, and I see myself again in the place called MM2, and as I'm seeing myself in these two places, I also see myself right away in a place called motor parks where people are boarding vehicles. And also, the Lord duplicated me again, and I see myself right there in Abuja Airport, and I see myself also duplicated in a place called Kano Airport, and I begin to see myself also duplicated into all the airports in Nigeria. I begin to ask myself, am I multiple, or what's going on here? And the Spirit of God said this was called spiritual duplication, to be able to show you things that are going to happen on the face of this very Christmas celebration. And I see people boarding into the aircraft, and a lot of people are boarding in a place called motor parks. I begin to look at the motor parks, and I begin to see people with their bags and their children and their wives. I begin to ask them, what is this all about? And the Lord said, this is what's called people going home finally, not to return back to their place of base. I begin to wonder why. What's going on? Where are people traveling and not returning back? They want to go back. They say they are already going to their places of what's called mass return of the people from the southeast. This was called the place of Biafra, and this was called mass returning to their place. Please don't get angry with me. This is major prophet of God. When I'm giving you prophecy, it is what I'm saying in the realm of the spirit, that I will come out here to prophesy the way they are raw. And I see these people boarding different vehicles, and they said, we are going to our place. And I begin to ask them, what is all of your place? They say they want to buy themselves, even before order is given for them to return home. I see them returning on their own. And I said they're returning from different motor parks. I'm seeing people going to different places to begin to rent what's called buildings and houses, and some people that have money to buy land, they begin to buy land, and people that have to place to pay for shops, they begin to pay for shops, and before I know it, I see people in different places trying to do one business or the other, trying to establish themselves, and they ask them questions. They say that they are going home, they're not waiting for the time of command for mass return, they are already returning their homes. But I spiritually, in the microscopic parameter of the Holy Spirit, to now begin to scan what this means, I begin to look at it. Is it hardship or what that is causing this? And the Lord said it's not hardship. People has already believed in what has happened right there in a place called Finland. This is a place called Finland. The declaration of what's called redeclaration of what's called United States of Biafra right there in Finland. The people has already believed in the declaration, and the people are already going back to their homes because they said that this declaration is real. Believe it or not, they have said that this is real. Because I am seeing what's called more recognitions, and different medias are going to carry out these things. Whatever I'm telling you, I am not telling you to be biased. I'm giving you revelations of what I saw. Because there's another aspect of what I'm seeing. But that one, I'm going to hang it by the Spirit of God. I'm going to hang it by the Spirit of God. Because this was all, people are not happy. And they said, oh, how can these people declare? And they are now free. Oh, let us do this and do that. And the finger of Jehovah raised up in the air to shut down every move. Because this was called the Spirit of God raising a finger up. Because this country, we are not ready to tolerate anything fighting or quarreling or killing or whatever. The finger of God raised up in the sky with what's called the banner of Jehovah that is beyond the human comprehension. Because a major prophet of God is seeing it clear. And what I see clear is what I see clear. And that evil spirit that wanted to bring about fighting or causing problem or causing people running at a skelter was arrested in the spiritual parameter right there in the realms of the spirit to hijack and to arrest that spirit. Because any spirit that is not of God, that is projected to cause one disadvantage or the other, the Lord has already disseminated what's called the angels from above. And these angels are called the angels of Jehovah, the cherubims and seraphims, the super, and this was called in the realm of the spirit, this was called archangels with different sword. The sword of flameth with a flame of fire. Some go at east-west, and some go at north-west, and some going south-west, and some going southwest, northwest, north, east, west, and north, and everywhere, east, west, north, and south, and the flames of fire with the archangels of war. And I begin to see their names: Angel Gabriel for good tidings, Angel Michael for war, Angel Uriel, Angel, different kind of angels right there standing in the air. Because major prophet of God is committed to scan the spiritual world to look at what's called the realms of the spirit and begin to bring prophecies and revelations the way they are, very clear, because a major prophet of God is born to prophesy. I am born to prophesy. I am born to prophesy, born to reveal things that are written there in the realm of the spirit, because the people that said, how can these people declare, let us do the otherwise? And the ability to rise up and do the otherwise, a finger from the archangel stood up and said, thou shalt not touch Rakato Sofrediga Pronti Shakapa. Thou shalt not touch the anointed, or do the prophets no harm, or do the sons of the prophet no harm, because the spiritual realm will always control the physical realm. So many things are going to happen as revelations are coming to major prophet of God, because by the special grace of God, when it comes to revelations, I am not in a haste, but I am fully prepared to put my ears down that God may speak to the major prophet of God to humanity, because this is the office of the major prophet of God, to look at the spiritual world and begin to prophesy things the way they are in the realms of the spirit, so that when it begins to happen in the realm of the physical, human being can be able to see with their eyes and have what's called regard for God Almighty. He's God. He's not a man. He's called Yahweh. And that's why I sang a song. Yahweh, 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 Yahweh. Yahweh, 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 oh Yahweh, 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 Yahweh. Yahweh, 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 Yahweh.